Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. At this stage, I will call on Mr. Kemi Pinheiro, SAN, our principal partner, our founding partner, to give us the closing remarks. Sir, but we do have a question for you. There's a question in relation to the Nigerian court system and M&A. We'd like to shed more light on that before you give your closing remarks. The question is the Nigerian court system equipped to handle complex M&A disputes, given how time-sensitive these issues are? What has been your experience litigating these issues in Nigerian courts? You're muted, sir.
Sorry, thank you, Peggy. I'll take the last question first. I must say, and my answer is quite embarrassing personally to me, because the experience with respect to dispute resolutions arising from M&As has been abysmally low, oftentimes time-consuming. Our case law is replete with some instances. If you recall, the Ecodate case lasted for over 10 to 12 years. You also have the Ajib case that also lasted just as long from the broad spectrum of our court system, which is why I'm tempted to accept the advice of Mr. Stage that the best option in terms of dispute resolution ought to be arbitration. But even with arbitration, in Nigeria, we also have the post-arbitration disputes that also linger on. Oftentimes, you find that rather than concentrate on the meat of the dispute between the parties to the M&A, our courts are congested with issues of jurisdictional questions that do not necessarily address the complex legal and issues that may have given rise to the dispute between the parties. Having said that, I know time is fast spent. Let me use this opportunity to quickly round up and give my closing remarks. I must thank Chief Chris for spending his valuable time to give the keynote speech. He is a man of both local and international stature, both in the legal and in the corporate world. I thank you personally for honoring our invitation.
Thank you, sir.
I thank Mr. Sage for giving us the very erudite international perspective to M&As. Even though you are of Ethiopian origin, I must say that your knowledge of the M&A and English law is profound. And we thank you for coming and also giving us some bit of sharing your knowledge and your experience with us. Let me thank Debola. Debola, the only thing you didn't tell us was you didn't give us a snippet of the next major investments UAC were going to do, so that we could just take it. But having said that, you gave us a blow-by-blow account of analysis of some of the challenges that investing companies will have to confront in a transaction. I thank you for taking the time to share with us, even at the latest. You came in to fill space for Mr. Abegunde. I must say that you fitted those shoes perfectly. Your knowledge of M&As is quite resounding. You were able to defeat the very questions that were thrown at you. I thank you for coming. You highlighted areas of focus, which is the capital markets and the challenges that may be faced by financial institutions with respect to M&As. And I thank you. It was quite enlightening personally for me. And I'm sure the bankers who are who are part of the participants will also find that very interesting. I must also thank the moderator for being able to.
You've forgotten our adjective.
I'm coming to her. I'm coming to her last. For being able to the program. Now, Ajoke, I saved you for the last because you were the first speaker. Your knowledge of the legal framework was quite resounding. I thank you. One of the things I've been able to take away now is the Chinese proverb you said, a question about dangers and also opportunities. I'm sure every investing company will have to bear that in mind. Not only to just look at the opportunities, like Mr. Debala will always do, but also to look at the dangers, as Mr. Sagi has warned very eloquently. Thank you for giving us that perspective, and I'm sure that our participants have been able to take away some of your legal knowledge in this respect. To all the distinguished participants who have stayed on up to this point, particularly Jeffrey, who asked a very profound question, and two anonymous attendees who also asked questions that, even for me, was quite cracking. We thank you for staying this long. We know today is a rest day for all of us, particularly those of us who are celebrating Independence Day. But, we thank you for spending time to develop ourselves. And I hope this will not be the last of the series of webinars being organized by Pinheiro LP. Thank you very much.